So I thought I would just pop in. It's been a bit of a busy day in Foggy HQ, which is why I'm back in the office after my dinner. Fortunately for you, you can't see that I spilled half my dinner down my top. Yes, so my inbox has been very quiet, obviously, because of Easter. But today I did receive an email from the Scottish Government. Neil Gray is the health minister that I wrote to. I think I sent him a paper letter. Yeah, I sent him a paper letter. And I also received a letter from the GMC. So that's what this video is about. Don't get excited, it's not good news, but I just wanted to kind of do transparent advocacy so people that don't do advocacy can see how hitting your head against a brick wall it is. So which one shall I do first? So first of all, just in case any of you are thinking, I haven't got a clue what she's talking about, what are these open letters? So I'm going to share my screen so that you can see what I can see. Share screen. And I want that one. Okay, so I'm currently running 2 open letters. This is the first one. So urgent appeal to address non-adherence to ME NICE guidelines in NHS hospitals. This is what was sent to the GMC. 647 people signed it. I am closing this now, and you'll see why in a minute. But I am going to save all of the comments because there are quite a few. And there's see more at the end. So there's more. There are quite a few. So I know this is something that means a lot to a lot of people. So I'm not letting it drop. I'm just saving your energy and not keeping people signing this one. So I'll tell you what GMC said in a minute. That was the first one. This is the second one. Urgent call for the creation of an NHS protocol for severe myalgic encephalomyelitis. View open letter. And this one, 2,456, which I know a lot of people are disappointed that not that many have signed it, but you have to remember I've been doing my Shake It Up campaign for 2.5 years, and I've only got 8, maybe 9,000 signatures now. Out of how many people have ME in this country now? And lots of people internationally have been signing that petition. So I'm actually really happy with 2,500. I thought that I'd do a short, sharp, get 500 and then send the letters off, but it didn't work out that way. I sent the letters off and the numbers just kept rising. This one is still very much going to be open because I have not heard from Victoria Atkins or Wes Streeting about this, or Aluna Morgan in Wales, all of whom were sent a copy of this letter. So though they are the letters that I'm talking about in this video. Where am I? There I am. So they are the letters. I've shared the links numerous times, but I will share them when I stop chatting in a little bit. So I'm going to talk about what they're called, GMC first. Let me see if I can find it. So the letter says private and confidential for addressee only, so I don't want to get in trouble. So I'm going to share the bit that I think is relevant. So I'm just going to go into that now. And it's a bit of a rubbish way to present it, but it was the only thing I could think of with 5 minutes left. So this is the extract from the GMC. So it says, thank you for contacting the GMC. We've carefully considered the info. It's just a generic fob off letter, really, that all advocates are used to. Consider the information provided, and while we appreciate your reasons for writing to us, we don't feel that these are issues that would warrant further GMC action being taken. We're sorry if this is not the outcome that you were hoping for. I hate that phrase. This is not the outcome you were hoping for. It's not just the outcome I was hoping for. It's thousands of people, some of whom are very, very sick. Anyway, so just to stress, their role is we work with doctors, patients and other stakeholders to support good, safe patient care across the UK. We set the standards doctors and those who train them need to meet and help them achieve them. If there are concerns, these standards may not be met or that public confidence in doctors may be at risk. This is why I emailed them. If there are concerns these standards may not be met or that public confidence in doctors may be at risk, we can investigate and take action if needed. Now, to be clear, on the day that I launched this letter, I said, I know it's not within their remit. However, what we're asking for isn't within anyone's remit. And I was sick to death of just having the situation kicked around like a football from one department to the other. So that's why I thought, pick one, start with the GMC, make them aware of the issue, even if they can't do anything with it, which they've said they can't. And they've now signposted me onto somewhere else. So I will be going on to the somewhere else. So just to continue what they've said in their letter, they've said the purpose of an investigation is to determine if or to what extent we need to restrict the doctor from working. We are not a general complaints body and we have no legal powers to intervene in or resolve matters for patients. So that was the important bit that I wanted you all to read. But just to be clear, I never thought that they would say, yeah, that's ours. But my big, massive, huge gripe with the GMC is, particularly with my ME head on, once a patient has been harmed, it's too late. Surely preventative is better. So when they say, when people are worried about standards of care, and if we can predict what's going to happen, which we can, if someone says they're going into hospital, it's like, ugh. And we kind of know that specialists have to be involved. The trust from patients in whether doctors can look after you adequately is massively undermined at the moment. So that's why I personally do believe that the GMC could say, just send out a generic thing to their membership. Did you know the NICE guidelines exist? We regard it as, good, whatever. We'd like you to follow it, please. Otherwise, you will be referred to us, type thing. But no, nothing. So they've now pointed me in the direction of an organisation that I have emailed in the past 25 times, and I've had one email back. So that's why I was a bit wary about, do I have to? So they've told me to get in touch with the CQC. I'm not overly confident that that's going to get me anywhere, but that's the place that they've signposted me to. Because when you look at the CQC website, it's very local and very, or you need to contact individual boards and individual this and individual that. And it's like, it's a national problem. National as in UK, national as in Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, England, and other countries. But obviously I'm only dealing with the UK with this specifically. So CQC. I've got their website up on my screen. Hang on. So if this screen sharing isn't working, I apologise. I can't see what you can see. So anyway, let's see. I've got their website up on the screen. I will have in 2 seconds. Share. Right. So this is their website. Hospitals. Now, bearing in mind, we don't actually have a specific hospital other than the 4 where the patients currently are at the moment. But we know that no hospital, really, maybe, I don't know, less than 2% would know anything about ME. But you can look at their latest inspection report, older reports to download, blah, 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 blah. So I will be sending them the 26th email that I've ever sent them. I've got no idea if I will have a reply. But the reason I'm mentioning it here is I don't know whether another open letter petition thing would work, because it's been such a struggle getting people's eyes on it. So I don't know whether to try something different, but CQC are next up in terms of non-adherence to, here we go. Sorry, I knew there was another reason why I wanted to share this. Fundamental standards of care. Does this sound familiar to any of you? Person-centered care, we don't get that. Dignity and respect, we don't get that. Consent, not so much. Safety, no. Safeguarding from abuse, depends how they define abuse. Food and drink, no comment. Premises and equipment. The places where you receive care and treatment and the equipment used in it must be clean, suitable, and looked after properly. Well, if you're told to remove your own personal ear defenders and eye mask, does that count? Complaints, you must be able to complain. Good governance. The provider of your care must have plans that ensure they can meet these standards. Effective governance systems to check on the quality and safety of care. No idea if that's being done on the ground. It doesn't sound like it. Staffing. The provider of your care must have enough suitably qualified, competent and experienced staff to make sure they can meet these standards. Their staff must be given the support, training and supervision they need to help them do their job. Fit and proper staff. Duty of candour, open and transparent with you about your care and treatment. Well, they're transparent about thinking it's not real. Should something go wrong, they must tell you what has happened and they must show you their ratings. So, as I said, I don't know whether to... Steve Topple, if you're watching this, I want to do something bigger than the open letter, but I don't know what, because it's incredibly difficult to get the community to see it on social media. And that's most of the stress, is trying to get more and more people to engage with it. But I don't want to do it single-handedly. I want the community to be involved. So if any of you have got an idea, please let me know. And in that letter, I was talking about the whole of the UK. So now we talk about what's the other one? NHS protocol. So I originally sent it to the Secretary of State for Health and Social Care in Westminster, but I am well aware that devolved nations have their own health policies, health departments, health ministers. But as a starting point, it was sent to Victoria Atkins, and then over the space of a week, it was sent to Wes Streeting as shadow, in theory, shadow Secretary of State. Oh, my brain's going. It is nearly 7:15 at night. I'm normally half asleep. So he is in theory shadow Secretary of State for Health in waiting, so provided they get in for the election. But do you know, I've sent Wes Streeting, he's a bit like the CQC, around 9 emails and I've never had a reply. So I'm not overly confident that when they get in power, I'm going to ever get anywhere. Vicky Foxcroft is Labour. She's amazing, very empathetic, helpful, sympathetic, really good. If I raise something, she raises it in Parliament. She does whatever she can. Great. The actual health minister, not so much. Hopefully that will change. Wes, please. Hopefully that will change. Anyway, yeah. So I've today received a reply from, so it was sent to Neil Gray, who's the health minister in Scotland, and he passed it, by the looks of the letter, he passed it to the neurological group department, and I'll read you that because it doesn't say private and confidential on it. Let me see if I can get it up on my screen. Hang on. Your recent inquiry with the Scottish Government. Right. This is it. Dear Mrs. Gallo, thank you for your email dated the 2nd of March. It was taking them a month. To the Cabinet Secretary for NHS Recovery, Health and Social Care, Mr. Gray, sharing your concerns for people living with ME and highlighting the open letter currently gathering signatures from members of the organised network. ME sits within the remit of the neurological conditions team, and I've been asked, I've got thoughts on this, so I'm just going to read you the letter first. And I've been asked to respond to you. Thank you for sharing this open letter with us, which we note with interest. We recognise how distressing and debilitating severe ME/CFS can be, and we want to ensure that people can access the care and support they need to manage their condition. In October, a very long time ago, the National Institutes for Health and Care Excellence published a guideline on the diagnosis and management. Yeah, I know. I campaigned about that too. The Scottish Government wants the disbelief around ME/CFS to end and have already made a visible commitment to supporting the key changes within the NICE guideline. Already? What, nearly 2.5, 3 years later? In July 2022, the National Clinical Director wrote to health boards to raise awareness of the guidance and its implementation and to highlight key changes in recommended practice. The Scottish Government have clear standards regarding the quality of care that everyone should be entitled to across our health and social care services. It sets out a clear expectation that a person should experience high quality care and support based on relevant evidence, guidance and best practice. Regarding staff training and education, the Scottish Government expect health and social care services to train and educate their staff aligned through professional frameworks where appropriate to deliver and maintain the skill and knowledge appropriate to their role. We are supportive of patient involvement and expect organisations to ensure that people living with a neurological condition are fully informed and supported at all stages. Thank you again for contacting us, and I hope this response has been helpful. Craig Kennedy. Right, my thoughts on that are, one, are they in a time warp? 2021 was a really long time ago. And they said that they did something in July 2022. Again, that's nearly 2 years ago. And with my work in Wales as a devolved nation, I know that in Wales particularly, I'm not sure about now, but up to about 6 months ago, it was within the neurological group. And in the 2.5 years that it had been in the neurological group, ME hadn't been mentioned once in the neurological group. So please tell me how change can happen if a disease is not mentioned within the meetings about neurological diseases. It's just we've put it in this little pigeonhole, and we have regular meetings for all of those diseases. Yeah, Parkinson's, etc., etc., etc. Diabetes is included in the one in Wales, and they talk a lot about diabetes prevention, treatment, pathways. So I'm going to do a Freedom of Information request to see how many times ME/CFS has been mentioned in the Scottish neurological group, because there's no point in them putting that in that letter if ME has never been mentioned. That is the first contact, so I ain't going to let it drop. It may well be, because I'm thinking about things to do with the GMC thing, I may well think of something else to do with Scotland too. As I said before, I'm happy to work with other organisations in Scotland, but nobody came forward. So, I'm not letting it drop. But yes, so at the moment, the NHS protocol open letter is still open. Please share that relentlessly, because I know a lot of people have said, I've shared it already with friends and family. But if you've done that on social media and not on, say, WhatsApp, only 5% of your friends and family will have seen it. So please do keep sharing. But yeah, so now you can see why it feels like a banging head against a brick wall. In that open letter about the NHS protocol, I've said, we've got a nice guideline, but very limited adherence. And the nice guideline is not perfect anyway. And there needs to be specific NHS protocols for very severe patients who are in hospital. Because if you read the NICE guideline about that particular thing, it wouldn't actually help the people that are in hospital right this minute. So, they need an NHS protocol, policy, whatever you want to call it. I called it a protocol because that seemed the most appropriate, but other people call it different things. Anyway, so it's all continuing. Not good news, but hey, at least we got a reply. He's the only politician in a roundabout way that I had a reply from. So, so if anyone's watching this and you're currently on Twitter, give Wes Street a nudge, please. Never, ever, ever responded to any of my emails. That's bad. Especially when I'm polite and nice and kind and I lay everything out in a really easy to understand way. No replies. Anyway, that's it. I was just popping in to tell you, please do continue supporting both Open Letters and me. Thank you. Share. Let's get more signatures. But the GMC one is closing, because if the GMC have now said this is nothing to do with us, even though I think it should be, they should be doing something preventative. But also, we need to start reporting people to the GMC. Have we actually reported anybody? I haven't seen any anecdotal evidence whatsoever of any people with ME referring doctors to the GMC. GMC has told us when the NICE guideline was published, and they're now saying it again now. Because further on down that letter, it said, we can only look into specific instances if you provide the name of the doctor, where they work, what treatment you had, what you think they did wrong. They need specific instances, individual cases. I've got no idea. I've never seen anybody say that they've done that. We've said to people, oh, this is what, if you feel like it, if you're inclined to do so, you should be reporting that to the GMC because that's poor care. But whether it happened or not, I've got no idea. But yeah, so the fight continues. We will get good care. And as the banner says on the bottom, onwards and upwards, get in touch if you want to help take this forward. People living with ME need change now. We can't keep waiting 2 years for another development, 2 years for another development. It's urgent. We need it now. So yeah, so I'm not stopping. I'm just pausing, closing the GMC thing. But the NHS protocol is still live and kicking. All right, catch you all later. Thank you for tuning in.